Welcome to Tomorrow's People, the podcast brought to you by Personio and me, Perry Timms. Everything starts with people. And the people we have on this podcast are broad, diverse, interesting, and entrepreneurial. And the entrepreneurial link is to my guest today on this episode, Rajeeb Dey, MBE, co-founder of Learnerbly. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks so much, Perry. Great to be here.
And our connection goes back to your entrepreneurial, I guess you'd say, sort of non-executive times when I was at the Big Lottery Fund, and there was a connection to that. And so much seems to have happened since, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, my own entrepreneurial journey started very young since I was 17.
Wow.
When I started my first social enterprise for school students around giving them a voice in their education, called Student Voice.
Wow.
I got involved with Unlimited, the Foundation for Social Entrepreneurs. Obviously, Unlimited did a lot of work with the Big Lottery Fund.
Yeah.
So that's probably when we first kind of connected. I subsequently was on the board of Unlimited for 10 years, supporting other social entrepreneurs.
Wow.
And so my journey really started from there, and I've never looked back since.
And I guess it's really an exciting world, but also something that people probably have a very sort of media-led version of entrepreneurialism now because of things like Dragon's Den and so on and so forth. But it sounds like you've been in that world for quite some time. Has it changed much? Has it shifted? Is it different?
Yeah, I think it has. And I mean, firstly, I think awareness of entrepreneurship as a career path has definitely improved, and it's just on people's radars. And I think you quoted Dragon's Den. I think that's been both a blessing and a curse. I think from mainstream media awareness, and even seeing The Apprentice shifted format from being an employee to being a business partner, it did, however, I think give entrepreneurship slightly a bad name as well. Okay. So I think there's a feeling that these angel investors, they're going to be taking 50%, 60% of your company, and people have slightly warped view around what it is actually like being an entrepreneur and raising money. But I think overall, in terms of raising awareness, it has been useful. Yeah. I mean, part of the premise of my first venture after Student Voice, the school student organization, the one I set up at university was called Internships. It was about entrepreneurial internships. Okay. It's about showing university students that entrepreneurship and working in a startup is a viable career path. Right. And because, on campus, there was no exposure to working in a startup or a fast growth company. It was going to banking, law, accounting, the major big professions. Yeah. Now that has definitely changed. And I think if you speak to a lot of students at university, they will aspire to either work in a startup or be an entrepreneur. And so that's really positive change that I've definitely noticed over the last, 10, 15 years.
And I'm glad you say that, because I think it's perhaps gone through a hype cycle where it was a very glamorized thing and everybody thought overnight I'll be a YouTuber and earn millions, right? I think people have realized there are some hard yards, there are some lessons, and you talked about internships. And I think the whole concept of experience is much more valued now. Is that something that you have been pleased to see and have kind of been active in that world?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the whole premise of internships was to connect students and graduates to startups and SMEs. Yep. These make up the life